Hey guys, so I wanted to touch bases on something today that's been on my mind. And so many people focus on relationships. And so that's what the topic is going to be today. So I'm just having a moment where I'm just able to just relax and just think about shit. And I'm thinking about the relationships that I've had and how majority of them left me. I didn't leave them. And so I'm just thinking about how not only the person who gets broken up with, there's like, oh, why could you do this to me? I thought you loved me, and da, 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 da. And then it's like you feel like you're going through more pain than they are because they broke up with you. But in reality, depending on how long the relationship lasted, they loved you for all that time. And they probably been knew that they didn't want to be with you anymore. They just wasn't saying it. Or maybe they were saying it, but you wasn't listening. And so they decided, like, this person's not going to listen. They haven't been listening, so at this point, I might as well just leave. And so, a lot of the times, people who are getting broken up with, they're like, oh, you never loved me, and, all this toxic shit. But to really process the fact that, well, what about the person who's breaking up with that other person, because they feel like they have to do what's best for them, and not realizing that that's actually a hurtful feeling, that leaving a person that you truly love and really want to be with and actually see a future with because it's better for you, that's hurtful in itself, you know? So I think it's just something to consider. Um, uh, I'm not really a relationship guru. I'm still figuring my own shit out, to be honest. I like to be realistic, and all these perfect ass relationships on social media, it just makes me want to vomit, honestly. But I think I think it's important to understand that people are always growing and always changing. And not a lot of people want to accept the fact that that's going to happen in any relationship, right? And so when people argue and they don't get along, 9 times out of 10, it's not that they can't, it's that they are just too focused on what's being done to them instead of being focused on their reactions and why this is triggering. So they want to push blame on the other person instead of taking accountability for their own feelings and their own experiences and what they're allowing themselves to go through. And people would like to argue and say, well, are you saying that I allowed this person to hit me? Are you saying that I allowed this person to curse me out? Are you saying that I allow this person to come into my life and turn my life upside down? It's not what I'm saying. But to some degree, you do have to hold yourself accountable because you are allowing this to happen by not walking away. And sometimes it's not easy to walk away. Sometimes people are crazy, you know? But I think it's important to really, really face the reality that relationships don't last because these two people aren't willing to look at themselves in the relationship and figure out how they can benefit each other by changing some things about themselves. And they don't realize, like, you're not just changing for this person, but you're supposed to be changing for you. Because if you're trying to change for the better, then it's at the end of the day, it's for you too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really just for the other person. And a lot of people don't realize that. And most people who don't realize that are just selfish. So, but I wanted to just come on here and just talk about that, because some people, I'm sure a lot of people are aware of this, but some people just aren't aware of the fact that and I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're the fucking problem. Okay? You're the problem. There, I said it. It's you. And he's not tripping for calling you fucking crazy. She's not tripping for calling you a fucking asshole. It's you. Right? But at the same time, it's also them, because it takes two to tangle. And so, for the crowd that this is reaching, for whoever's watching this right now, it's meant for you to make better decisions. It's meant for you to reflect. It's meant for you to look at things in a different perspective. How are you going about, listening to the other person to actually understand them better, to know how to talk to them, to communicate with them? Some people you just naturally click, and that's wonderful. And some people, a lot of the times, that's not the case. And that's just unfortunate. And a lot of people divorce, and a lot of households have single mothers or single fathers, because these two people just didn't want to take accountability and to change and better themselves. Or maybe one did, maybe one person did try to change and better themselves, and the other person just wasn't. And now you're looking at this person like, damn, I gave my life to you. I thought you were going to change. And it's like, I get it. But how many times did this person show you who they were before you decided to believe them? So holding yourself accountable to some degree. And a lot of people also don't realize, if you ever notice, when you're in a relationship with someone, you tend to either lose yourself if it's, not a healthy relationship. That's a for sure sign that you're not in a relationship that you should be in. And you honestly should be in a relationship with yourself, because you're neglecting yourself. Not the other person, it's you. And then you're sitting there wondering why this other person is no longer interested in you. You're not the person they were when y'all first got together. Sometimes that's the case. But I want to talk about basically the relationships where people actually genuinely want to be together, and they just aren't seeing eye to eye. And every time I turn around, it's fucking chaos, always arguing. You just don't know what to do. Take a look at yourself. Therapy is very important. And a lot of people just downplay therapy. I feel like it's very important to talk to someone, because you need an outlet. Because if you don't talk to someone, then you might end up saying the wrong thing to your partner. So consider that. Any hurtful thing you need to express, speak to your therapist about it first, because then they can get you to look at it in a different perspective, and you might be able to go back and be able to communicate things in a way that you couldn't have, and actually get the type of response you actually were looking for. You know, you just have a better chance of getting the person to understand where you're coming from if you were to speak to someone who is good in that field. You know, you need to see a therapist. I don't care who you are. In the world that we live in, we all need therapists. Even our therapists need therapists, okay? It's real out here. But I just wanted to come up on here and talk to you guys real quick. But yeah, so just please try not to be hard on each other. Try not to be hard on each other. This is a crazy world, you know, and if you found a person that loves you and accepts you naturally, don't blow that. You know, like I said, we all have things we have to work on, and a lot of times people live in this fantasy. No relationship is perfect. You're not gonna fucking see eye to eye every single day. You're gonna have disagreements. That's actually normal, and I know a lot of people who are like, oh, fuck this, I'm tired of always having these disagreements, and it's like, it could be a lot worse. So you want to break up because you're having a disagreement? Sounds like you have commitment issues, and that's another fucking topic. Like, a lot of the times it's actual commitment issues. But you know, not a lot of people are willing to say that and admit that. But that's a conversation for another time. But I just think it's very important for us to just take a look at ourselves, you know, and to figure out a way to communicate effectively, and given the circumstances and experiences that happen in both of your lives, you might be very much the same or very, very different. You know, and if you're very, very different, then that can be, like, you can clash a lot with a person that way. And they always say opposites attract, and that's very true. But I've attracted people that I was very much, you know, we had similar paths in life. And I really just, like, that was the fucking worst relationship ever. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because not only are you and this person seeing, seeing eye to eye, not seeing eye to eye, right? Now you have all these traumas that you guys both been through. So that means you guys both have trust issues, or you both have abandonment issues, and so how are you guys able to properly connect if you're both having these same issues? And so sometimes being the same is actually worse. And somehow you still attract people who are been through the same shit as you. And these type of people come into your life to show you what you need to change within yourself. And so it's important to keep that in mind, that not every relationship is meant for you to actually get married and have children and start a life together. But really analyze it. Okay, this person's been through what I've been through. 9 times out of 10, you might handle things either the same exact way that I do, or similar. And so if you handle things more similar, and I'm trying to grow and I know that I need to work on myself, all we're going to do is bring that to each other. And then we're always going to be battling each other instead of battling just ourselves, you know? So it's important to also heal that within yourself before we're, being focused on a relationship. But once you're actually in a relationship and you come to realize this, that doesn't mean that the relationship it should end. I don't feel like sometimes it does. Sometimes you do need to end the relationship, but I guess that's just for you to decide. That's up to you. So it's really hard to just keep looking at the motherfucking camera. It's easier to look down than at the camera. So I'm new to this shit. But yeah, I just want to come on here and just speak to someone who might understand where I'm coming from. And I don't have, I'm not telling, this is not no relationship advice for you to just, make decisions based off of what I'm saying. Please do not do that. Just want you to consider some things because I don't know your personal life. I don't know your relationship. And you're free to come on here and talk to me about some of the things you've been through or what you might be experiencing. And I do want to share a couple things about some things that I've been through as well. So I guess we'll talk more about some of my experiences in life, which have been fucking crazy. I was born and raised in Bronx, New York, and so, as you know, the Bronx is real rough, and so my mom tried to move me out of New York because it was crazy, and she moved me to Pennsylvania, and yeah, but eventually I will get to that, start telling my story. But first, I just want to come on here and share some positivity and to help everybody grow. And to the community that supports me, I appreciate you and I love you. And there's not too many of you out there right now, but that's okay. Hopefully this reached somebody and it's helpful in some kind of way. I am doing Sims on this channel, but I did want to come on here and just chat it up. Because, why not? We're all here to help and support each other. But, I don't know. And then I was looking up on Sims, and I'm like, honestly, I love Sims. I love it. But the game is always up and down. It's like, now apparently there's something wrong with the DLC. So therefore, a lot of people's games are crashing with all the packs that's on the Sims 4. And it sucks because the consumer has to suffer every time. It's so messed up. And to all the Simmers out there, I'm so sorry you guys are experiencing this. Because there's some amazing builds on here. I'm excited to share some of mine, but there's some amazing builds on here. You would never think your average person would just be creating stuff like this. And people are so talented, and this is a way for them to express their talent. And yeah, they might have a lot of subscribers, but they genuinely just want to come out here and show their creations with the world. And I think those are the best people. And I think those are the people who are actually successful on YouTube, is people who are genuinely coming on here to share their work. Not coming on here just to profit, and are people who actually genuinely want to be a part of something. I'm that person who wants to be a part of something. And I do want to share my creativity, but more so just I want to be a part of some type of growth on this planet. Because it's real ghetto here. You know? And I'm still learning myself, but as I'm learning, we're all learning. You might be ahead of me with knowledge, or I might be ahead of you with knowledge, you know? I just feel like we can come on here and not bash each other and just talk and teach each other. And so I definitely, I'm against any type of negative comments, that's for sure. I'm going to start saying that at the beginning of my videos because I don't have time for no drama. I really don't. And people are always going to disagree with you. And that's okay. Just don't be negative. If you disagree with something I'm saying, that is perfectly fine because maybe you could teach me something. A person who thinks they know everything, what can you teach them? Right? So I definitely am open to learning new things. But as I go on in life, yeah, I'm going to come on the channel and I'm going to drop a few words. Damn, this video is longer than I expected it to be. So, alright, y'all. Peace.